My baby right now is 9 months old. He's still developing. He can't speak yet.
Right.
He's crawling. So why does he have less moral worth at 9 months? We're all still developing here, by the way. You know that men's brains don't stop developing till they're 35?
Right.
So should we just be able to say, well, sorry, you're 21, I couldn't get rid of you?
It's more so, if I can't give that child the life it deserves, why am I bringing it to...
I hate that discussion. I hate that perspective.
I'm just mostly here to ask, like, why do you believe that abortion has become such a political and dividing issue in specifically the last few years?
Well, the repeal of Roe versus Wade, for sure, is one of the reasons. And secondly, there has been a not so subtle dehumanization movement over the last 60 years that makes it acceptable to crush human beings smaller than you if you so choose.
Okay. It's mostly like, I believe that the initiative of those beliefs have become more hateful towards women, and I'm just kind of wondering, like, what is the incentive with all of these points? Like, why should we not have the option to choose?
Do you have the choose?
Every time I hear the phrase option to choose, I always somehow end up doing this topic. But that phrase always confuses me, because what do you mean by option to choose? You're saying that when I hear option to choose, I think of having a family, going to college. You have the option to choose if you want to do that. I don't think of getting an abortion. Somebody getting an abortion, that's like an extreme option. So what exactly are you choosing? Are you choosing whether or not to have a kid? If that's the case, then there are a lot of things that you can do prior to abortion when it comes to having a kid. But that's just my opinion. Let's continue.
The agency or the choice to murder.
Well, yes. There's consequences, okay. But I do have the option.
Under the law?
No,
okay.
Technically.
So therefore, that's our position.
Well, not necessarily. It's more so like in the aspects of when, the mother's life is in danger and, those special circumstances, like why can we not have those options in those situations either? Because no one is inherently going out saying, I just want to kill babies. That's not anyone's point here.
Well, yeah.
It's more so the point
You should look at a Planned Parenthood ad. That's basically what they do. But so less than 0.5% of all abortions have to do with rape, incest, or life of the mother. 99.5% of all abortions have to do with just a form of birth control. It's a last catch option because whatever type of birth control you were using didn't work.
Would you want someone who is not necessarily stable or ready to bring a child into this world and provide that child the life it deserves? Would you want them to still bring that child into this world?
Without a doubt. Every life has a moral obligation to be able to live. So I just want to play this out. So you say it's all about the choice of the mother. Mm-hmm. At what point does the human being in utero become a human being in your mind? Because it must be not human then human. When does it cross that threshold?
I would say more so in the 2nd to 3rd trimester.
Got it. So just be respectful, guys. But why then? What happens in the 2nd and 3rd trimester specifically that all of a sudden human being,
Well, it goes from a clump of cells in the 1st trimester to the heart being developed in the brain and the nervous system. So
when does the heart begin?
I believe in the 2nd trimester.
Yeah, 6 weeks. That's the 1st trimester, right? So a heartbeat is detectable between 6 to 8 weeks. That's 2 months. The 2nd trimester does not start till 18 weeks. Brain waves are detectable at 10 weeks. So tell me why 2nd and 3rd trimester.
Because that's when the baby is more so developed, is what I'm saying. Like when, in that argument you had, I'm not sure when, you were shown the pictures of the fetus, of a dolphin fetus and a human's fetus. You weren't able to tell the difference.
But that doesn't mean it was not a human being, though.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not developed. It's the same kind of concept. Like, if it comes...
Charlie Kirk poses a great question. And that's the same question that I ask when it comes to if there should be abortion or not abortion. And if you remove religion from it. Because I'm a Christian, so... that's to say my stance. But if you remove religion from it, let's talk about a nationwide, you're the judge, you're determining on if there's abortion or if there's not abortion. The question that you should ask is, when does human life start? I think that's a fair question. When exactly does human life start? Once we just answer that question, this will be a much easier discussion. But I feel as though that's the fundamental misunderstanding, or that's the fundamental difference between people who do support abortion and people who don't support abortion. People who do support abortion do not tell themselves that life starts at conception. They do not tell themselves that. They tell themselves, like, for example, she said that you're a human in the third trimester. That's, according to Charlie Kirk, she said second trimester, I think. Whatever. That started at the 18th week. But Charlie Kirk, his fundamental standing of abortion is that life starts when you find out you're pregnant, practically. So, as a nation, once you answer that question, when does life start? That will probably determine whether or not abortion, remains legal or illegal. And abortion is already legal in majority of states. But anyways, let's continue.
Comes down to that person's life and their well-being. Why should they not
but
choose
we're talking about two different
themselves?
things. So life of the mother is extremely rare.
It's not that rare, though.
How many times do you think that there are abortions for the life of the mother out of a 1.5 million abortions every year? How much do you think?
I'm not sure with a number off the top of my
less than
head.
500 out of 1.5 million. And by the way, a vast majority of those are babies that could have been delivered by cesarean section. Do you know what a cesarean section is? Okay. So understand that if a baby's at 28 weeks and they say it's life of the mother, why would you terminate the baby when you could deliver it by C-section?
Well, if you can deliver it by
No,
C-section...
but they're not even given that option. Instead, they go to an abortionist.
So then that's essentially an issue that we should address within these politics. Because no one is saying to kill kids. No one is saying kill babies.
But first of all, late-term abortion is very common and very frequent.
It's not that common, though. That's
Again,
the main
how many
point.
times do you think it happens a year?
Late-term abortions?
Yeah.
I don't think it happens.
Tens of thousands of times a year.
You can't say that when it comes to the life of the mother...
But I am curious, though, just more, because you said about well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Why should any person be able to terminate another human being if you feel as if your well-being will be jeopardized? Why should I be able to terminate someone in this audience if they're going to get in my well-being way?
No,
By what moral But
completely.
apply a universal moral standard to the abortion argument and help me understand it.
If I were to get pregnant right now, I would not be able to give birth to that child and give it the life it deserves. Because
how did you get pregnant?
Accidents still happen, guys. Like,
Okay,
you
hold
can
on.
be on birth control.
Hold on.
You can still...
This is an important point, guys. But wait a second. But then shouldn't you take responsibility for your
Absolutely.
orgasms?
No.
So let me be clear, that you want to have all the fun, but none of the responsibility.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying accidents still happen.
No, of course, and you know what happens when accidents involve other human beings? You don't terminate them. You don't get to eliminate another human being because of an accident. That's not a moral code we live by.
That's actually a fair point. There are millions. Well, I'm not going to say millions. There are a lot. I don't know the exact number, so I'm just using a vague term like a lot of car accidents that happen every year. But imagine somebody just hits your car. You got a brand new car. You just got the car washed. You just left Chick-fil-A. It's a good Saturday morning. It's 70 degrees outside. You riding with the sunroof back. It's a great day. And somebody hits your car. They smack your car. Smack it. Your paint scraped off. It's a dent in your right door. They hit your car. 40 miles an hour. 25 miles an hour. And you get out the car. And they said, oh, my bad. It was just an accident, so I won't be paying for this. You're going to be looking at them like, what you mean you not paying for this? You hit my car. You're paying for this. And it's the same instance in this situation. Just because something's an accident don't mean you not paying for it. You still going to pay for it. And you hit my car on a Saturday after I left Chick-fil-A. But anyways, let's continue.
Correct. But why do you not care about the outcome of that human being's life?
Of course I do. No, I mean...
But you don't, because
I don't?
if I were to give birth to a kid right now and it's living in horrible conditions, because I'm just a college student, why do you not care? Why do you not put in funding into those establishments to help them?
let me. Everything that we believe in is about the betterment of that kid's life. Safer streets for more police on the streets. Want to have better schools and school choice so that kid can read and learn. Stronger churches so that kid can learn about a
Why
strong
does that
ethical
matter
code.
if I can't afford a house for this kid?
Well, but hold on. I'm going through the list of all the things that can happen. Curtailing inflation so you can have purchasing power for that kid. The point being, everything that we as conservatives believe in is making it easier to have children in this country. And just because we don't want more government money spent on something, which actually makes it harder, does not mean we don't want that thing. But it's a red herring argument. We're talking about the morality of the elimination of a life.
Right.
And so I just want to be totally understanding of clear that what species is the being when it's at 6 weeks?
To me, I believe that it's a clump of cells.
No, I understand.
It's a zygote.
No, I know, but the species.
I'm sorry, what was
The
that?
species. So everything on the animal kingdom has a species type.
Right.
So we are Homo sapiens, and you could be an alligator. But so what is it? Is it a
Okay,
Homo?
it would be a Homo sapien.
So if it's a Homo sapien, it's human. So then shouldn't it be given human rights?
But it hasn't. My point is, it hasn't been developed. It's still just a clump of cells.
Right, but
at the end of the day.
But hold on, my baby right now is 9 months old. He's still developing. He can't speak yet.
Right.
He's crawling. So why does he have less moral worth at 9 months?
I'm
we're
saying
all
that.
still developing here, by the way.
I'm-
You know that men's brains don't stop developing till they're 35.
Right.
So should we just be able to say, well, sorry, you're 21. I couldn't get rid of you because
It's more so if I can't give that child the life it deserves, why am I bringing it to?
Got it. No, I don't, this will be my last.
I hate that discussion. I hate that perspective. If you guys don't know, my father grew up in foster care. His parents didn't really raise him. And I was actually born prematurely. So if my parents or my grandparents had your perspective, the whole family line would just be gone. It would not exist. Just because you can't afford to raise a kid, why is the best alternative to that killing the kid or aborting it? That's just not, that's crazy. There are way more options other than aborting the kid if you can't afford to raise it. I would say that's kind of selfish. Because you can't afford a house, you're just going to be like, all right, forget this kid. And just not even put it up for adoption. You're just gonna abort it. And I'm only talking about this reasoning because you brought up this reasoning. I didn't make this up. You said it. This is your reasoning for supporting it. And I'm like, it's because you're broke? You don't got any money or a house? That's insane. My parents had my older sister when they were 17, 18 years old. They didn't have a house. They weren't married at that time. If they had your perspective, you're probably older than they were at the time. That she would be done. She would be cooked. That's crazy.
Question. I want you to think about it. If a single mom has two 2-year-olds, twins, and she wakes up one day and says, I can't do it anymore. I can't give them the life they deserve.
But that's just not the circumstance.
Hold on. Should she be able to take out a shotgun and kill both those kids?
No.
Of course not, because you think that would be objectionable. That's why I think it's objectionable to eliminate 2 babies that are 6 weeks old, because they're morally the same thing. One just happens to be bigger. One just happens to be older. One just happens to be outside of the womb. They're both human beings. And you have something in you that says, no way is it okay to kill a 2-year-old. That's called your soul talking. What I'm trying to do is connect reason and your soul and have that same sort of objection no when you see twins on an ultrasound.
I just believe you're looking at this more emotionally than scientifically.
Again, you can believe that. I actually am looking at it incredibly reasonably because I can tell you down to the minute when human life begins. You kind of give me a range. Your life began not at birth, but at conception, about 9 months before
That's
your
your
birth.
opinion.
Well, it's actually science's opinion. You know why? This is your eye color, your skin color, your tastes, your wants, your desires, your interests, introverted or extroverted, whether or not you're going to be tall or short, it all got decided in that moment. You know why? Your DNA was formed.
Well,
And with that, what is your marker as a human being? As we map the human genome, we realize everything about you. Whether or not you have a predisposition to heart disease, whether you're going to be tall, short, extra wide, skinny. It's all in deoxyribonucleic acid.
Correct.
And the DNA does not start in 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks or 20 weeks. It starts at conception.
Well, there you have it. I'm not really an expert on this topic. I'm not. But he makes sense to me. Let me know if you guys disagree or agree with him. My name is LFR JoJo, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.